Hi everybody, and welcome to TFT Tarot for today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee, and it's me, Oberon, with my outlook on the emotional exchanges. This is a reading about relationships, so it could be about love relationships, but could also be about other kinds of relationships or attractions to things that emotionally are interesting, exciting, attractive to us in general. Now, the reading used to be for the signs of the zodiac, Aries through Pisces, but I've changed the format now, and I'm just going with the idea of where you, the person, is in your own status. Are you seeking a relationship? Are you already settled in your relationship? Are you single and happy that way, not necessarily expecting to be in a relationship? Are these about people relationships? Perhaps, most likely, but they could be about other things that we are interested in, emotionally strong appeal, so things in fandom that we appreciate, or celebrities or hobbies of very, high interest could be included in this. I'll see if any of that kind of checks out. So as I mentioned, the reading is for singles seeking or settled in the relationship. I'm going to start with a brief reading from the Universal Love Oracle by Tony Carmine Salerno, and then we'll get into our reading. All right. Golden memories. Sounds nice. Who wouldn't want some golden memories? Someone is thinking fondly of you at this very moment, remembering a golden memory from times gone by. Know that love and friendship live forever within our hearts. Neither time nor distance can ever erase a beautiful memory, not even our passing from this world. And that's sure appropriate. Sometimes I think people don't realize that even when somebody we really cared for or even loved deeply, emotionally, intensely, a marriage of some sort, we may still have that relationship even if they are not here with us. We might be loving them wherever they are. And maybe, to some degree, we feel that sense of being received in that manner, that our love, our energy of love is appreciated by them. Something to think about. Okay, so moving on to the reading, and as I mentioned, it is about, singles seeking or settled in a relationship. And I've also kind of tried to give it a sense of being a little bit more introspective, personal questions of a relationship that are about you, not about, whether or not you're going to find true love, but whether or not you're ready for it. In a sense, that's the general idea. So I asked 3 questions. And the very first one is, how can we be better at communicating our feelings? And so that idea extends either way, too, for those of us who may not actually be thinking of that thing that we're most fond of or that we might want to have some kind of relationship with. So for the reading, I use the Modern Love Tarot, beautiful expressionistic tarot. And that's by Lucy Morningstar. There she is. All right, so once again, how can we be better at communicating our feelings? Now, if we are a single person who may or may not be interested in a relationship with a person, but maybe perhaps about something, and the singles get the star. And so perhaps when we want to communicate our feelings, we want to realize there's a great destiny out there for everyone, and that everyone has their own particular movement or role to play, their own sense of what they feel brings them the ultimate, peace in their life, or the ultimate dream that they're feeling. The stars can be about that. And so maybe when we're communicating, we just have to be kind of neutral in that sense, because this is universal. Stars are universal, right? What if we are seeking a relationship? How can we be better at communicating our feelings? As the Three of Wands reversed, maybe when we're communicating our feelings, we have to accept, or have to be able to get into that part of the conversation that we understand. Sometimes there's a chance in a relationship. It's an opportunity, but it could be an opportunity that we may not always be ready for or able to understand and capitalize upon. And so maybe not putting too much emphasis on that attainment, for a relationship, but realizing that it's a process. And if we're settled in our relationship, we communicate our feelings by portraying that sense of a universal love of family, of our relationship, of all the things in our relationship that we truly are enjoying and feel are part of our tapestry of our life. Right, so that was question 1. Question 2, and once again, whether you are seeking or satisfied in your singleness, or settled but maybe finding other things draw you emotionally, is what you seek available? Are you infringing upon someone else's relationship, whether it's a person or a particular thing? So for a single person, be valorous. Realize that not everyone can or wishes to do the exact same thing, and that we have to honor where people put themselves, and that sometimes people want to be appreciated for exactly what they are and exactly what they are still capable of, no matter anything else. This is the Six of Wands, and so the Six of Wands could be saying that what you seek is available, and you have to be brave enough in a way to understand that there could be a lot of nuance there, that's a full life lived there too that you're looking at, and that has had many trials and tribulations and successes and factors to consider. Now, if you're seeking a relationship, maybe what you seek is available. It's the Page of Swords, but it's the thing about a sense of balance and grace. It's about maybe understanding diplomacy, and that, if it's not exactly what I'm saying, if you find that something isn't exactly as welcoming to you, to know that it's polite and graceful and tactful to withdraw it if necessary. If you are settled in your relationship, is what you seek available? Yes, but it's changed a little bit. Because when you're settled, you're thinking about your nest, your home, your life, your relationship. And the Four of Wands really can talk to that kind of issue. But our Four is reversed here, and so that could be saying that we understand that sometimes we have to downscale a little bit of what we want, that we have to look at a bigger picture and realize if there's two of us in a relationship and four walls, then we each have two walls. And so maybe we have to make sure the other two walls support what it is we seek. Final question for the three sense of statuses is in our relationships with people, how do we set healthy boundaries, whether we're trying to establish new sorts of relationships or whether it's just how we deal with the ones we have now? How do we set healthy boundaries? If you're a single person, you start at the beginning and you realize that any good relationship, the boundaries start at the beginning, the openness to looking where love or joy for happy things can really take you, and to be willing to move with that energy as it moves from that beginning, to not be forceful, but to let love flow like a cup of water flowing. If we are seeking a relationship, how do we set a healthy boundary? It's the Empress Reversed, and I always like to think that the Empress Reversed is talking about looking into ourselves and deciding what is good for us. So it's a self-care kind of situation here. We set our healthy boundaries by realizing not to put ourselves in situations that will hurt us emotionally, spiritually, or otherwise. And so that may say we limit ourselves to what we might really think we want, but maybe we're saving ourselves from undue attention these days. So think about that. Think about yourself first when you're setting a boundary. Don't be inclined to give in so easily to what another new relationship might be nearly demanding of you. And if you are settled in your relationship, then how do you set a healthy boundary? Hence the Four of Cups. And to me, this particular version of the Four of Cups, look closely. There's one person there who's not drinking and happy, or she's not drinking, she's just thinking about it. And she's over there on that side of the card while everybody else is pouring and imbibing. And maybe if you're settled, you realize that sometimes you have to be the designated driver in a relationship or in a new one. Maybe, you set the healthy boundary by realizing there are more things that you don't necessarily do rather than what you do. And, that sounds a little bit negative, but it could also be saying too that don't go with what everybody else goes with. You set a healthy boundary by not necessarily following what everyone else thinks is the right way to do it. I'm in with the in crowd. All right, and then we have a final question, and the question is for everyone, no matter what their status is. So I only pull one card for this one, and it is basically, how should all of us try to express universal, unconditional love for everyone? How can we all try to find a way to be kinder, to include, to open up new dialogues or new relationships of friendship? How can we do that? All of us be more interested in everyone as a human being. The solution is clearer. It's the Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands is literally probably the most charismatic and yet at the same time confident and kind of bold in a way. And so it clearly could be the card of somebody who's a very strong-minded feminist and is willing to not necessarily be rude and destroy and burn the house down, but to be confident enough to tell somebody when they need to reconsider what it is they're doing. And in terms of expressing universal love, it's that idea that we're not going to say, well, but you can't be this, a trans person or something like that. You can't be from two different color races. That's just garbage. We're all human beings here, and we're all adult, when we're all consenting adults, or within that range of being able, to think for ourselves and to express our own independence, it's no one else's business who we are attracted to and who we want to fall in love with and be with, create a life with, share with. It's no one's business. So be the Queen of Wands. You don't have to trash them or destroy them, but just have to stand up for yourself and say, this is me and I'm doing it. The end. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching my emotional exchanges. We'll see you tomorrow for happy hour, but happy hour will be later tomorrow. I have to work in the morning, so we're shifting happy hour to 4 o'clock p.m. Remember, our times are Eastern Standard. And also, Banshee's Material Matters. The recorded show is on Sunday mornings at 10 a.m., but it premieres live. You can join us. We'll be there with any number of our friends in the Tarot Tribe to discuss the reading, have a little fun, discuss our coffee, the important things on Sunday morning. But it's a complete reading for all the signs of the zodiac, great astrological, economic information. That's Banshee's Material Matters. And then later on, we're both back live for our live stream Sunday afternoon from 2 to 4 p.m. We will answer your questions. We pull several cards to do that, including tarot and Lenormand cards. So come see us. We'd love it if you can give us a donation, but we will read for free. So check us out. And remember, we will be back with the emotional exchanges next Friday. Bye-bye.